In today's video, I'm going to share with you my favorite tarot and oracle decks of 2025. Now, they are not necessarily the ones that I use the most, but they are for sure the ones that are leaving an important mark in my life that I'll never forget. Hello, my love! Here we are. I'm extremely excited because this one is the very first favorites of the year here in the channel. And may this one be the first one, and may we have several others. I'm looking forward to that, right? To share this path with you. Now, my dear one, I thought about, I'm going to share with you 5 tarot decks and 5, maybe 6 or 7 oracle decks. And I thought about creating 2 separate videos. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to create just one video. Then you can grab your cup of coffee, your cup of tea, your juice, your water, and you can spend some quality time together, sharing about, well, these little babies that we love so much, sharing a little bit about our personal spiritual practice and our paths as women in this world, right? Navigating this world through a spiritual point of view as women. So let's start with tarot decks. The first one is going to be this one. It is the Moonchild Tarot Shadow Edition by Danielle Noel. Why is this deck important? It is because I bought my first indie deck. It is an indie deck, this one. I bought my first indie deck many years ago, and that deck was called the Tarot of Delphi. Beautiful deck. My favorite artwork. I would never use the deck. And because indie decks, they're investment decks, I decided not buying the indie decks anymore after the Tarot of Delphi. I was like, oh, no, know what? I will stick with my beloved mass market ones I can buy here at my local store, and it is what it is, and it was great for several years. Then this year, for some reason, I decided to buy this deck here. High quality, beautiful. I'm not into the Star Child thing or this kind of thing, you know, but this one here, I don't know, there's something with this color. I don't know, there's something important, there's something special about this deck. She's very versatile, and I decided to buy her. And what happens is that she opens the door for other indie decks in my life. So I'll never forget that after the Tarot of Delphi, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, several years ago, this one was the first indie deck that I bought now in 2025. Another deck, my second tarot deck that I want to talk to you about is the Albano Weight Tarot. So what happens is, if you're here for a little while with me, you know that the Universal Rider-Waite's my favorite Rider-Waite-Smith. And for me, it's important. I always have a Rider-Waite-Smith here on my work desk because I end up using them with my students and clients. But then, this year, I was feeling that I wanted a more colorful Rider-Waite-Smith. Then I found one that was an indie deck, but it was like over $100. And I thought that I couldn't justify buying. I don't know, guys. That's me. I didn't want to invest like over $100 in a Rider-Waite-Smith when I have one that I love already. It didn't make sense for me. Then I found out about the Albano. I didn't know they were publishing this deck because I thought it was out of print and that's it. So I saw this deck. It's a mass market deck. You can find it anywhere. And I decided to give it a try. I love her. I use this deck a lot on summer, spring as well, I think. So it was the first time that my Universal left my work table. First time ever. So this deck was important for me because she showed that I can have a little bit more of color in my traditional deck, because this is my traditional, the Rider-Waite-Smith is my traditional tarot deck. I could have a little bit more of color, and that I have another deck that I love almost as much as the Universal. I'm not going to say that is as much, but almost, it's pretty close. So that's something very different for me when it comes to Rider-Waite, because I would never find another one that would come close to the Universal. One tarot deck that was very important for me in 2025 was one tarot. I even shared in the 3 tarot decks that you should have. You must have something like that. I'm going to link the video here. This deck is a deck that I wouldn't want at all back then. It is the Mary L. Tarot. It was a deck that I wouldn't want. I didn't like the images. I don't know. No, look how beautiful is the Empress. Look how beautiful is I wouldn't want this deck because for me it was even a little aggressive in some moments. Then this year I decided to bring this deck to my collection, and she's fantastic. So she helped me to have even more clarity around how some decks, it doesn't happen all the time. We have the right to really not like or strongly dislike a deck. It's okay. An artwork, it's completely okay. You don't have to investigate, do some shadow work around that. It's just your taste. It's okay to say, I don't like this or that. And it's important to have clarity. It's important to have clarity about what we like and what we don't like. It's our right? But then this year I was like, something was calling me, like when I would see this deck. And it is a deck that people don't even talk that much anymore because it's an old deck. And I decided to add it to my collection, and it's so much better than before because I remember it was a larger deck with black borders. No, now she's smaller, she's borderless, and she brought some meaningful and deep aspect of tarot into my practice. Now, it is a deck that I don't use with others because I think that it is a deck that we must use, or we should use, with the guidebook, because there's so much in this guidebook. So it is a deck that I like to use in the guidebook. Of course, I could just not use the guidebook anymore if I use this deck as so much that I would kind of remember some things, because it doesn't read like a regular Rider-Waite-Smith, if you know what I mean. So I really love this guidebook. Some decks, they are like that, right? The guidebook's 50%, the cards are 50%, and this is one of those cases. Now, one deck that I love and that was very important for me in 2025 was the Tarot of Abyss by Anna Turian. I have a review here in the channel that it feels like people are liking that review, so I'm going to share here with you. And what this deck brought to my collection, what she changed in my life, is that she opened my mind to black and white decks. Because I was, oh no, that's not my thing, I don't like that, I don't care, doesn't matter, I would not even look at the deck if it was black and white. And this deck, she is black and white, and oh my god, don't let it fool you. She has so many layers, and she's so sweet, and she's so wise, because some people may think it's a dark deck. It's not that dark's bad, guys, but it's not a deck that is going to slap in your face and kick your ass, because we need those decks sometimes. It's not the case at all. She's so wise. Look at this Nine of Pentacles. And something important. The court cards in this deck, they're going to expand your vision and the way you work with court cards. It's going to help you to think outside the box and feel the court cards a little bit more. So something that I don't like that much in the Moonchild Tarot is that all the court cards, they're kind of similar. That's not true here. The court cards, they're so special. King of Wands, they're so different. They bring, I don't know, some human aspect to these court cards. It's beautiful. It's an amazing deck. So it opened my mind to the black and white decks, and it helped me to expand my relationship with court cards in a beautiful way. And now the last tarot deck, of course, should have to be here, is the Tarot of Mystical Moments. This little baby is my favorite tarot deck, at least so far, but she is my favorite tarot deck, and the Tarot of Mystical Moments was with me almost every day this year. I'm going to show you. She is, look at this, she is my most used deck. What happens with the Tarot of Mystical Moments is that she opened another door for reading tarot intuitively for me. So she allowed me to access layers of inner wisdom that no other deck was able to. No other deck was able to take me there, right? And I love this deck because it's an extremely feminine deck, but we do have, as you just saw, the Emperor. We do have the masculine here as well, which is important in my opinion. Look, another masculine here. So the Tarot of Mystical Moments, she's my my everyday deck, my everything deck, because I can read for myself, I can read for others, I can read for shadow work, I can read for dream work, I can read for career, I can read for romantic relationship, for all kind of relationship, for spiritual path. She's fantastic in all scenarios, in all kind of readings. She always brings another layer. So she invited me this year to go deeper into my intuition. Okay, so I don't do fortune telling. That's not the kind of reading that I do. I published a video here sharing with you what is my methodology, or the way that I approach the cards. And being able to access that intuition and that knowledge, that inner feminine knowledge that we have inside ourselves, I'm going to tell you, I don't know any other deck that is able to allow us to access that like the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Love her, love her, love her. Now we are going to move into our Oracle decks. Let me see here. I have Oracle decks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So not 5, 7, but I think it's worth it. The first one, of course, is the Pocket Wild Unknown. Pocket archetypes could be the standard size as well, right? So this is a deck. I have a few archetypal decks, but this one's my favorite. I love this deck so much, guys. This deck helped me to understand archetypes even more, because I wanted to work with this deck all the time. The other ones, I never wanted to work with them all the time, just for specific reasons. This one, I've been using this deck, let's say, every day, because I use this deck in all my professional readings, and she's beautiful to clarify tarot. She's beautiful to bring clarity about the archetype that is active in our lives or in our clients' lives. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I couldn't recommend the deck more. This is an amazing deck and pretty unique in my opinion. The guidebook, magic. It's another case when the guidebook's 50% and the deck's 50%. Now we are going to move into a deck that came to my life thanks to the Moon Child, because she opened the door for indie decks. I can't live without this deck, guys. I just can't. It is the inspiration cards by Sky Autumn. You're going to buy this deck on her Etsy store. I'm going to tell you. You should take a look. And if you feel that it's for you, just do that. Several cards, I think 80 cards here probably. Beautiful. And what I really value about, let me take care. What I really value about this deck, not only that, but these ones, they are real paintings. You know, so I feel like that's very special. You can see on her Instagram, you can watch videos or see pictures of her painting. And I think I just admire people that can do these kind of things, guys, with a brush, right? I just admire that. I think it's fantastic. So the artwork is just speechless, fantastic. But what's really surprised me, this is the Divine Masculine, are the messages here. Guys, they are spot on. They are so nice. They're so nice. I love this deck. And this deck here, she is beautiful as an overarching theme for your readings. Yeah, okay. But she's beautiful to clarify tarot. Yes, she's. She's beautiful to draw a card every morning when you need some kind of inspiration and uplifting. Yes, she's an uplifting message. Do you need a card to wrap up your reading to have a nice message at the end? Yes, she's. And she's always spot on. Spot on. Several students and clients, they were like, Rachel, what deck's that? I need the deck. I need the deck in my life. And I simply love this deck. If you don't know, Sky Autumn is the same artist of Lana Fairchild's Sacred Rebels Oracle. So you're going to have like not many, guys. I think 3 or 4 cards that are the same, but look at this. Now let me see if I'll find here easily. I love the way, look at this. The sage, the old woman. I love her representation. It's not the only one. It's not the only one. It is a fantastic deck that I have to come back for a full review. Don't you think? I think I do. I love this deck. I wanna share. I wanna give her more love by showing her to the world. I think we don't have people talking about her. Not, or at least not people enough. I haven't seen any video talking about her. You know, I just saw because I follow her. I follow Sky Autumn, and I saw on her Etsy store. I think we have to talk more about this deck, and I'm going to definitely do that. Now, my dear one, the next deck's a deck that I really don't like that much. I'm sorry, I really don't like that much. It is the Call of the Morrigan Oracle. So, I'll be very, very honest with you. Do I love these bags? No. Do I love this artwork? No. But something was calling me to buy this deck. What can I do? I did it because it was very strong. Then when this deck got here, I was like, why did you do that, Rachel? Like, no, like why? You know, I would never, I wouldn't work with the Morrigan, nothing like that. Why was I feeling like adding this deck? Turned out, beginning of the year, maybe January, I don't know. I bought this deck, this deck was launched and I bought it right away, not many months later. And then I was here like, okay, let's connect with the deck, let's see. First reading that I had with this deck, she was clear. It's your moment to heal your masculine, your inner masculine. And I was like, oh. And then this deck opened up the door for me to explore so many things in the beginning of the year. So many internal issues that were asking to be explored in 2025, because 2025 was my threshold year. So tons of things. Thank God this is the year of the snake as well. We are shredding the skin. We are leaving behind what's not serving us anymore. And this deck was crucial. If she didn't come to my collection this year, of course, the light always finds ways to guide us, but the way the light found me to guide me down that path, working with what I had to work in the beginning of the year to prepare myself for the whole year and everything that I went through in 2025, I was able to cross the threshold. Do you have an idea how huge is that? And this deck was super important. I'll never forget her. It's not a deck that I work that much at all, but oh geez, she's so important in my journey, guys, so important. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is the Hecatean Path. No, Oracle of the Hecatean Path. This deck here, I was feeling like working with Hecate. And I couldn't, and I wanted to have an Oracle deck for that. But I wasn't finding many decks to work with Hecate out there. Then I saw this one. It's published by Luis Carabeo, eye-edged in black. And it is a pretty large deck for Luis Carabeo, I think 60 cards. I like this card actually, but it's not exactly my kind of artwork. Look at this. Not exactly. This one's nice. I like statues and stuff like that. It's classic statues. But this deck, guys, oh my god, she helped me to connect with Hecate because, as I told you, it was my threshold year. So we are there sometimes at the crossroads. I've been in the crossroads for years before, for like 2 to 3 years. And then I was reaching that point when it was the moment to choose and cross the bridge and cross the threshold. And she was there with me. Hecate was there with me. This energy was helping me. She was helping me to build the vessel, because in the way I work with goddesses, they help me, they help us to build the vessel for something that we have to receive in our lives. And she was helping me to build this vessel, to receive the blessing of crossing the threshold. So it is a very special deck for me. I really love this deck. It was fantastic to work with this deck before bed, because she would bring me answers in my dreams, okay? A beautiful, powerful deck that I love. Another deck that I want to share with you is this one here. It is the Earth and Bone Oracle, one of my favorite oracle decks ever. She has here, well, I already told you that I love skulls, I love skeletons, I love working with this idea, because in the end of the day, it is what we are in our essence as human beings. So in my opinion, it's not okay being afraid of skulls and skeletons. You have to investigate if you think that this is something bad, because some people think that when they look at this image, they think it's something bad. Why is that? It's important to investigate. Like, it's human nature. It's part of the human body. We have to make peace with that. And in the end of the day, this deck is not a deck that is going to hurt you, that's going to traumatize you or whatever. She's super loving. So you see that we are going to have these beautiful saturated colors with these skulls. And this is one of the cases, one of the rare cases, the only one that comes to my mind actually, when the mass market is much better than the indie edition, in my humble opinion, because the indie edition is so dark. I couldn't see that image. Look here. Here's beautiful. So we are going to have this mix of skeletons, skulls, and flowers. So it is about transitions and everything else. And this deck was super beautiful for me, especially when I was in a moment of understanding what parts of me, or what part of me was dying this year in order to cross the threshold. So that's how we are, right? Parts of us, they keep born or dying. And I went through a strong process this year, and this deck was there, reminding me of the beauty behind death, reminding me of the beauty behind transformation that only death allows us to achieve, the symbolic death, okay? So a deck that I want to mention here is the Alice in Wonderland. I use this deck a lot in professional readings this year. She's one of the best decks to clarify tarot out there, because she's going to allow us to explore the issue. Don't lie to her. It's not going to work. She's going to find out. And I love this deck. I simply love this deck, specifically for clarifying readings. She brings another layer of light to a reading that is very, very beautiful. I shared a video here about how I clarify tarot with the Oracle. I'm going to link here. And the number one here in my Oracle decks, of course, it is my Kuan Oracle. When we are going through moments, as I told you, shedding the skin, facing some symbolic internal death, that's not something that happens all the time, or it shouldn't. You're not going to have that every year, every month, but not every year, okay? Because you wouldn't be able to handle that. So the process I went through this year was actually the third time in my whole life that I went through a process like this. It's not about the external world. It is something internal. Of course, the external world is always going to, or present us a situation that is going to allow us to investigate what's going inside, or what is inside transforms the world outside. And when we are going through this kind of experience, it's important to have Kuan Yin with us. It's important to have the kind of energy she represents of love, self-love, compassion, especially if you are anything like me, because I am a very, very, when we are I'll say a high achiever kind of person, in general and specifically women, as we are talking here, we can be a little harsh with ourselves, a little hard on ourselves. And Kuan Yin reminds me to extend the same love and compassion that I have for others. She reminds me to extend that to myself as well. Because if your love and your compassion is only for others, not for yourself, it's incomplete. And one day it's going to break. Okay, so this is the bigger one. This is the standard edition hat. We have a review here for her as well. And I like to go ahead and draw a card and read. She's always spot on. She always gives like a medicine to my heart. You know, when you feel like your heart needs something, she always gives me that message that I need. And of course, my beautiful pocket edition I draw from her almost every day. Love these decks. Oh, guys, we made it. 25 minutes. If you're still here with me, thank you so much for being here. This channel is much more than sharing about my work. It's much more than sharing about things that I'm passionate about, things that I really do, because I only share what I really do in my life. But it's much more than that. It is an important part of crossing this threshold in 2025. And if you are here, know that you are part of that. And I'm grateful for your existence. Every day I'm praying for you. And I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you for being here with me in 2025. I hope you to subscribe so that we can spend 2026 together again. It's going to be an honor. It's going to make me extremely happy to share the path with you. Thank you for being here, beautiful soul. Sending you tons of love. See you in the next video.